So today, I got my son with me. He is, how old are you now, like 12?
10. Almost 11.
Almost 11. You almost forgot how old you were? Anyway, it's going
Almost.
to be 11 in about a month. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and do another couple champions here that was requested by his grandpa, my pops. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and give these guys a comparison, see how they rack up against each other. This guy gets the decision. He gets the ultimate decision. I'm going to give my decision. Do with that what you will. He gets to be the ultimate decider, though. So go ahead and let him know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with who he chooses. So the first champion that we're going to go over is my grandpa or my dad's favorite champion. And it is, well, I know his favorite champion, but it's the champion that he likes. It's Dhukk the Pierced. What do you think about this guy?
He is awesome. On his belts, it looks like he's carrying skull grenades.
Skull grenades. That's a good thing. That's crazy. Look at this. He's got like knives on his belt here too.
And on his helmet.
And on his helmet right here.
And he's got a freaking skeleton on his shield.
And the skeleton on the shield. It's pretty scary. Like, it's pretty intimidating. Anyway. So as far as the look goes, you give him a out of 10.
I would give him a 10 out of 10 for the looks.
10 out of 10 for the look, you know. Hey, there you go. 10 out of 10 from a 10-year-old. All right, so let's go ahead and bust through his kit and we'll see what he's got. A1, 2-hitter. Each hit has a 40% chance when booked of placing decreased accuracy. That's a good ability, right? It means the other people can't hit you with debuffs. It's harder for them to do it. His A2 is kind of his money ability. This is the ability he's good for. Attacks all enemies. You book it, 100% chance for decreased attack. And then also has a 100% chance of decreased defense on each critical hit. So you just have to build him out to 100% crit, and you got decreased defense, decreased attack. If you build him with enough accuracy.
Nice.
So then his A3 here, it places a provoke for 1 turn on 1 enemy. Also has a 75% chance, just 75, of placing provoke on 2 random enemies. So basically you can get a provoke on 3 enemies. Not bad. You get a reflect damage on himself and unkillable on himself. So that's really good in one ability. It's not bad for control. And then he's got this 31% defense aura and faction grips.
Nice.
So overall, pretty good. Pretty low HP at almost 16k. It's not very high. Pretty good defense though. He is defense based, so all of his damage is based off of defense. I don't know. This is just a place, so this doesn't do any damage. So that's not that bad. This just to note, this decreased defense, decreased attack is also on a 3-turn cooldown, 100% chance. 97 speed, adequate. All right, so that's Dhukk the Pierced, Dhukk, however you pronounce it. These blades coming out of his skin. Look at this. Is this blades or something?
Those look like pieces of scrap metal. Or like.
It's almost like saw blades, dude.
Oh, that looks like saw blades.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Is that what is that in his chest?
This?
Yes.
No, I don't know.
It looks like it went straight through his heart, but his heart's like up.
His heart's like right over here.
Yes.
Anyway, Dhukk the Pierced got a really cool look. Okay. And then he's got a big old freaking sword, blade, axe.
Spear.
Not an axe. It's not a spear either. You gonna spear people with that? I don't know. Whatever it is, a big weapon that's gonna hurt you. So his look is really cool. I agree, 10 out of 10 on the look for Dhukk the Pierced. All right, the next champion we're gonna compare him to is going to be the not the OG, but I consider him an OG because I started playing right as he came out, and that's the Stag Knight. Look at the Stag Knight.
That
man.
shield though.
Right? Look at the shield. Look at it glowing. It's like a bowl with a big sword and a couple of other
That's cool.
flowing capes. This is basically what Dhukk the Pierced would look like if he took a shower. Yeah.
And he removed all of the pierces.
And he cleaned up his gear.
Yeah.
Anyway, so his Stag Knight has got, look, he's got the antlers on his head for the knight, for the stag. You know, kind of like, because the stag is like a deer or a whatever. Elk, stag, I don't know. And then he's got this kind of, I don't know the technical term for it, but that's more like a spear. but an axe and a spear combined, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool too.
I've seen one of those. Like guards have them.
Yeah.
In the medieval time.
Right. And that's kind of what the look here for most of the Bannerlords is. It's like
from the medieval time.
From medieval times, kind of the look. So let's take a look at Stag Knight's kit here and see how it compares here. He's got a few less abilities. Anyway, it is A1. He's got a 2-hitter as well. And this one, he's got a 30, 40, 50% chance of placing decreased speed. So you have decreased accuracy versus decreased speed. You know, you weigh those options depending on where you need that ability. Right?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah.
All right. His A2, this is the big fat money ability.
Wow.
Attacks all enemies, 70, 80, 95% chance of placing decreased defense and decreased accuracy attack for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. So it's basically the exact same ability, because what you can do here is instead of it, so you got 70 plus the 25 is 95, but there's a mastery you can get for him to up his chances 5%, so it's essentially 100%. So you basically have the exact same ability on Stag Knight as you do on Dhukk the Pierced, except you don't have the crit qualifier. So you don't have to build Stag Knight to be 100% crit rate for this to happen. What were we going to say?
And he doesn't have the A3.
No, he doesn't have the provoke. But what he does have is this really cool passive. It places a 50% increased accuracy buff on an ally for 1 turn each time that ally has a debuff resisted by an enemy.
Wow.
So every time anybody in your team has a debuff resisted, they get a plus 50% increased accuracy. It's really, really cool. And Stag Knight came out in a time when increased accuracy wasn't a buff, really. I think he may have been the first one to actually have this kind of buff. You know, I mean, it's not like you increase the accuracy and then they get to go. They have to go and get their thing resisted. But hey, I think he was one of the very first to actually have increased accuracy, and that really helps.
It's probably because he looks very cool. He looks very cool, but that's probably because I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, that's typical. That's typical. We're keeping this in. So the money ability is obviously Huntmaster versus Dhukk the Pierce's version. You don't have to have crit for Stag Knight though. Here's where Stag Knight has the edge. He's support, so he's not defense based. So all of his damage is based off attack, but I don't think you want to build Stag Knight to do damage. I think you can build Dhukk the Pierced to do damage. But why would you build your debuffer to do damage? I'm not really sure. You want your debuffer to debuff, and then you want your damage dealer to do damage. So Stag Knight's got a heck of a lot more HP. He's got over 5,000 more HP. So you know what you do with Stag Knight?
What?
Shield set.
Nice.
Shield set, high HP, good big shield. That's how I have my Stag Knight built. Is in a shield set.
Nice.
So he ends up having like 55 or 60k HP, puts a shield on. It's really nice. Beginning of every turn, or the beginning of every round. His defense is nothing to laugh about. It's still adequate. And then he's got 107 speed, so he can be moving. You can get him moving.
That's pretty fast.
That is pretty fast. And also, Stag Knight's been out longer. Anyway, it may seem like Dhukk the Pierced has a better kit, but simpler sometimes is better.
Yeah.
So, if we look at both of these champions together, my opinion here, and I'm kind of biased, I pick Stag Knight. Hold on. We'll get to your pick in a minute, okay? I pick Stag Knight. And the reason I pick Stag Knight is because he was the very first epic champion I ever pulled. The very first epic champion I ever pulled was Stag Knight.
Wow.
Yes, so I had Stag Knight built. 60 was my very first decreased defense champion I ever built. So I am very, very biased. Also, Stag Knight, I believe, shines more in more aspects of the game because I think decreased speed is a little bit better of a debuff. That's just me. Alright, so now that you've heard my biased opinion, what do you think? What do you think?
Oh, it's really hard. They're both really good.
We're going to go back out here, and you get to make your decision. Dhukk the Pierced or Stag Knight?
I think
3.
Stag Knight.
Stag Knight? High five, dude. There we go. Why do you pick Stag Knight?
Because he's really cool, and he has a lot of good A1. He has a good A1 and A2.
Okay. Hey man, I don't care how you're going to rationalize it, you side with me. Grandpa, on the other hand, keeps saying that he built out Dhukk the Pierced. He didn't get Stag Knight early like I did, so he got Dhukk the Pierced early. When you have an ability that's kind of similar, or almost literally the exact same, like a 3-turn cooldown, decreased defense, decreased attack champion, it really doesn't matter which one you use, because they're both going to be good. Dhukk the Pierced is good everywhere in the game, with the exception of against Force champions, because they're weak against magic. Now Stag Knight is good everywhere in the game except for magic champions. So you really you don't want to limit yourself to just one decreased defense AoE champion. So if you have Dhukk the Pierced and you have Stag Knight, my recommendation and my son's recommendation here is to build up Stag Knight first. But my secondary recommendation is probably build them both. You're probably going to want both of them. If not for anything other than the faction wars. So, that's it. What do you got to say? You got anything to say? Say goodbye?
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone.
See you next time.